welcome back to J&J. I'm going to do something a little bit different today. I'm going to be doing two rookie mock drafts from two different places. So, without further ado, let's get into it. If you like something or thought process, leave a comment below, obviously. So, just trying to create some content, let you know how I'm thinking, if it matters to you, and go from there. So, let's get into this and let's see if I can click the right buttons here. All right, so for example number one, or draft number one, this is beginning of April 2023. We're past the combine and we are waiting on the NFL draft. So we are trying to get a feeling of the value if you want to trade up or back in your picks. So basically, this one I did randomized to two drafts. This is actually the second draft. I actually have a draft where I've got the second overall pick. It was bought a team, and so I'm kind of reconfiguring it. So I wound up with the second draft. So this is kind of a good exercise for me. So this is actually mostly what I would do in this situation. All right, not just based on picks. So let's get into it here, right? So let's get into the first picky here. So, oh no, where the heck did I do? No, your team. What the heck did I do? Let's try to go back here, right? I don't know what we're gonna do. Okay. So this is where we need to start. Oh my word! I thought I had it all set up. Obviously I didn't. So I wound up getting the second overall pick on this one, which is, like I said, in a draft. So with that personal team, I've got several good running backs already, even though this is a running back heavy draft. This draft wound up working out really well for me because I do have some other deficiencies on the roster. I do have a deficiency at tight end because I've only got Dalton Schultz on the roster there. So I was a big fan of Dalton Schultz. I don't know if this is going to wind up continuing to be a big fan of Dalton Schultz going forward, just because the landing spot with Houston, don't know who his quarterback is, what is the usage. The offense looks a little bit better for him, but we will see what happens there, right? So as you can see here, going through it, got Bijan at number one. I chose Jordan Addison just because I've seen him mocked to places like Buffalo. I do think that he's going to ultimately wind up being the best wide receiver of the big five, or in the top five. So pretty much it was between Gibbs and Madison, but in this particular case, I wanted to go wide receiver. I also wanted to see what happened with the draft if I took somebody other than Smith and Jigba, or Addison, or not Addison. So I wanted to mix it up a little bit, so I picked Addison. So as you can see, Smith and Jigba went second. Quentin Johnson, Gibbs went all the way at 5. I've got a couple picks at 5, so that'd be fabulous if I could get Gibbs there. I mean, perfect. Charbonnet, Boutte all the way up at 6. Charbonnet, then Michael Mayer, Jalen Hyatt, Josh Downs, quite a bit of a reach, and then the quarterbacks start going off with Stroud and Richardson. So that's how this mock draft played out in the first round. Okay, so I've been giving you a little bit about the team and why. I really like the Gibbs pick at 6. That's great value. Um, I think the quarterbacks in a real one quarterback league, right? This is where the quarterbacks are going to start going off at the turn between the first and the second. So I think that that's pretty realistic in this draft. All right, let's go to the next round, round 2. So Zay Flowers went off at 2-1. So I was sitting there with my choice of the best running backs, being already chose a wide receiver in round 1. At this point, I thought the best value was here at running backs. I looked at Bryce Young, possibly doing something here, but I wound up going with Kendrick Miller. So then Sean Tucker went right behind him, so it was kind of a toss-up between those guys. And obviously Zach Evans, who went a little bit later there. So you can obviously Bryce Young, Will Levis, what the heck? Was that Reed? Wide receiver, and then God, I can't even read. Oh, A-Chain. Uh, my screen is very small. My screen is very small. So then Bigsby, obviously, and then you finish out the second round, right? So the third round, when it came to me, I did not have a dilemma at all. So As you can see, for some reason in this draft, Dalton Kincaid fell all the way down to me at 3-2. At 3-2, I was more than happy to scoop up a Dalton Kincaid. So, as you can see, some other guys going through here. Cedric Tillman, I mean, let's see, Deuce Vaughn back here, Parker Washington, Jarrett, a couple more quarterbacks go off. Chris Rodriguez, um, Tank, Nathan Dell. Um, so, not a whole lot of love for me in that round, right? Um, so in this round, it came through, and again, I thought that the value was in the running backs in this draft at this point. So with what was left on the board here, as you can see, the whole thing, a few wide receivers that I don't really care much about, and Mohammed Ibrahim. Really, my choice here was between Brown and Hull, and Hull went right after Brown. I wound up choosing Brown, just because I don't know. Kizzy on the I chose Brown because I knew that Brown wouldn't last until the next round, hoping Hull would, but it did not happen. So that was kind of my thought process there. So did that, and then I wound up getting Mitchell. I'll just say Mitchell. Wound up getting him in the fifth round, which I think is an absolute steal. Watched a little bit of game tape, some highlights. I'm not going to say that he is, but he has similarities to one Barry Sanders. A little bit smaller. He's just about as quick, not quite as elusive, but their running styles are kind of similar. A lot of hopping around, jump cuts, very similar, making guys miss, just flat out running guys, like Barry Sanders used to do. So take a look at some of his highlights. Take a look at some of Barry Sanders' highlights. Let me know if you see any similarities down below. Not saying that he's Barry Sanders, obviously, because he's not going to be drafted third overall in the NFL draft, and but he might be one heck of a scat back, or might even be able to take over the lion's share of a running back spot. So let's give you the full draft here, right? So this is what was a full draft. It was all rookies, an all rookie mock draft, and so on FanPros. So this was the full draft. Okay. So with that being said, we can go into the next one. And this one I wanted to, was actually the first draft I did, and so this one's quite a bit different now. So I wound up having the 12th pick, not the second pick. All right. Um, so let's do this, I guess. So now I've got to change the team name here. So that one, right? So now I gotta go that one. Oh, it's up there. All right, so there you go. Got me over in 12. Way the heck, way over here, yeah. Way over here, yeah. Now I'll pick 12. So it came all the way down around to me on this one. As you can see, all the draft picks coming through. And Kendra Miller, on this one, I just took him again because this was, like I said, this was the first draft I took. I wanted to mix it up a little bit. So I took Miller there. You can see how it went on this one, which I do not think will be a true one quarterback draft. When you have Bryce Young and C.J. Stroud at 1-2 and 1-4, that's probably not going to happen in a one quarterback league. I'm just saying, unless they fall to somebody, go to somebody else than one of the top two teams in the draft, NFL draft. So, all right. So then, obviously, Bijan first. Those guys, Smith and Jigma, who went third. Your top five are in 7. Well, top 6. Gibbs all the way goes on to wow. That's nice value for that if something like this would happen. So Mirror jumped up. Yeah. So then let's check out round 2. Right, like I said before in the previous draft, that's where I figure quarterbacks are going to go at the turn of 1 and 2. Several of the quarterbacks, Devon Downs, A-Chain, Hull. That's very high for Hull, I would think at this point, right? Boutte was pick 7 or 8 in the other pit draft. mock draft. I don't understand how there's such fluctuation in it, but I don't think that there's other people actually making these picks because I think it's a automated, but I don't understand how that goes. But there you go. You get to see the Boutte and then Zach Evans and Sean Tucker and then Bigsby, going off. I thought I got a really good steal with Israel at 212 on this one. As you can see, Dalton Kincaid went in the second round on this one. I got him at 3-2 in the last draft. So we'll go there. So let's go to the third round here on this draft. And as I said, I was looking for the best values. Bunch of the good players that I like come off the board. You can read through there, 1 through 12. Luke Musgrave, I wound up getting him at 312. So almost the fourth round, I got a pretty decent tight end. Not a big fan of Luke, but hey, you're drafting for value in the third round, right? 312, it's basically a fourth round pick. If you would hit, great. So then let's get to the fifth round on this one. And I got Mitchell on this one again. So what was it? End of the early fifth or late fifth here on Mitchell here. So I got him in the fifth round on both times. So let me take a look through here. Cedric Tillman. Wow. I mean, in the fifth round, that's a pretty good value, I think. Let's see, what else can I see in here? Sorry about looking down and. Oh, Puka. Puka, the other draft before, I was debating whether to do him in the fifth round last time. Um, uh, Decent wide receiver. He went all the way to 5'11" in this draft. Decent upside, I guess. So basically, we'll just hit this, right? So this is the full report on this one. So what I wanted to do is I wanted to compare and contrast the two. So obviously I'm pick 12 on this one, and I will show you what I had. So there you go. Now you have both drafts. Pick number 2 on the top one was me, and then pick number 12 on the bottom. And you can see that they're vastly different drafts right now between where we are between the combine and the NFL draft. So with that being said, I don't know if this helps a ton or not. I think the bottom draft is kind of is quite a bit unrealistic for the simple fact that you've got the two quarterbacks in the top 5 picks. I don't think anybody in a one quarterback league is going to do that. I mean, I would be very skeptical if I saw anything more than one quarterback going in the top 7 picks in a one quarterback draft. So, with all this being said, these were the results. I hope you like it. If you have any disagreements with what I said or what I did, you can comment below. Maybe I'd like to, get a following going here, or start a group basically, and share ideas, and basically try and get 12 people on one of these and do a draft. That might be fun. But I just wanted to break this down and show you on Fan Pros how it was breaking down for me, who I would pick, and go from there based off of one just a random draft, picking guys, and to see where guys are falling. And that wasn't a good draft. I would think, like I said, quarterbacks went too high in the one quarterback draft, and the second one based off of my actual needs and picks, which would be the top one, which would be a draft based off of a team that I do have that has the second overall pick. So I had that in mind. So those are the two kind of differences between the two. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. As always, like or comment below, and give me some feedback. Hopefully you can hear me pretty decently on this one. Hopefully I got a little bit more sound barrier breaking, and we'll go from there. Good luck in all your dynasties. Looking forward to the NFL draft. Maybe I can get one more of these in prior to the NFL draft, or maybe I'll do one right after. And then when the one quarterback leagues start, last year I kept a track on MFL a bunch of actual drafts and where they were picked, because to me it helped me to figure out in my own drafts who's going to be the next pick, most likely, just on MFL. I think they've added um, an average draft position on that, but I don't know how accurate that is. I'd rather track it myself so I know that the results are good. So because it is what it is. At any rate, we'll go from there. And I appreciate you guys watching. Come back again. Check out some of my other videos from last year, the years before. Got some team construction videos, what I was thinking and why I was doing it and why I made some trades. Some of them good, some of them bad. So you can check them out. Like I said, this year I'm going to be going to try and win a championship or two. I've got 6 different dynasty teams. So let's go for there, and I'll just keep you updated. Hopefully we can have some fun with it. All right. Looking until then, until next time. Take care.